All right, welcome to Frontline, 6 o'clock here on the East Coast. We begin with some breaking news out of the White House, where President Trump is ready to impose a 100% tariff on pharmaceuticals entering the U.S. beginning tomorrow. Earlier today, Trump made a major announcement for lower drug costs.
Pfizer is agreeing to provide some of their most popular current medications to all consumers at heavily discounted prices of anywhere between 50 and even 100%.
Trump lowering drug prices in America. Weird, while illegal drugs are being kept out.
Do you think what President Trump has been doing has been making your job tougher?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
But it's becoming more difficult, you think?
Yeah.
That's a drug cartel member. He answered the question 3 times. Trump is making the cartel jobs harder. Win-win. But first, welcome to the Department of War, where the priorities are no longer weakness, grievances, complaints, and high-calorie individuals. We just kill bad guys. So let's do this. The speech every actual warfighter wanted to hear, and the last thing our enemies wanted to hear. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth is shredding the soft doctrine, absolutely laying waste to the weak, woke, fat, diversity-governed that our military for the last 4 years dead. We're now focused on things that actually matter.
Leaders can only control about 3 of them. You control how well you're trained, mostly how well you're equipped, and the last variable is how well you lead.
And we're done with that. We're done with all the other junk. I was literally cheering during this speech today because in 2010, I wrote a book on active duty called Battle on the Home Front. It addressed most of what Pete was talking about today, particularly our promotion system as the root cause of so many problems. The combat roles are being governed, still today even, by risk-averse, non-combat generals and admirals who made rank by putting bullets in an eval rather than putting bullets in a bad guy.
In a unit where leaders were promoted for reasons other than merit, performance, and warfighting, the answer is not just no, it's hell no. I don't want my son serving alongside troops who are out of shape, or in combat unit with females who can't meet the same combat arms physical standards as men, or troops who are not fully proficient on their assigned weapons, platform, or task, or under a leader who was the first, but not the best. Standards must be uniform, gender neutral, and high. If not, they're not standards. They're just suggestions.
Because in war, you die if you're not ready. I know. This is like music to my ears. Pete said something, though, that I think a lot of folks who are making these ridiculous rules, they never, ever consider them. Fight a war as if your son or daughter is fighting it. Apply the standard of, would you put your own child at risk on the front lines with this decision? Because for too long, senior leadership has put their careers above the mission for the sake of their careers, with less consideration for those fighting the war. Do not question me on this. I had one of my very close friends killed because of a stupid order on rules of engagement just to check some box somewhere. But the other component is physical readiness.
But when it comes to any job that requires physical power to perform in combat, those physical standards must be high and gender neutral. If women can make it, excellent. If not, it is what it is. If that means no women qualify for some combat jobs, so be it. That is not the intent, but it could be the result, so be it. It will also mean that weak men won't qualify because we're not playing games. This is combat. This is life or death. As we all know, this is you versus an enemy hell-bent on killing you.
So be it. This is reality. Because a grenade or a bullet or even a bad guy doesn't care what gender you are. They don't care about the amount of gear that it needs to be carried into battle. That doesn't matter about your age or your gender. So why should you have to do less push-ups?
It's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look. But today, at my direction, every member of the Joint Force at every rank is required to take a PT test twice a year.
Yep. The days of gut over your belt with curved gig lines are over. If you can't be fit, find a new job. Stop waivers, stop these passes or the good old boy hookup. Oh, well, I'm a shore duty admin person. I don't care. This has gotten too out of hand. You want to know why? Because in a moment's notice, a war could break out and you might be on the front lines as needed before we, God forbid, start drafting the general public. And if you don't like that, again, there's the door. This is the military where people die. And I don't want to have me rely on some fat person to carry me off that battlefield. And you know what we've established? That you have to be fit. Now we've established that you're going to be mentally conditioned too.
That's why today, at my direction, we're undertaking a full review of the department's definitions of so-called toxic leadership, bullying, and hazing, to empower leaders to enforce standards without fear of retribution or second guessing. We are attacking and ending the walking on eggshells and zero defect command culture. A risk-averse culture means officers execute not to lose instead of to win.
And we're in the business of winning. That's why we're not speaking German today, by the way. We as a society have become weaker since they renamed accountability into bullying and hazing, and all that stuff's gone away. And those two things are critical parts, agree or disagree, I don't really care, but they're critical parts of building a strong, tough, and cohesive unit. Yeah, I got hazed a lot when I was going through, and it worked, made me tougher. And if you're some social worker or some high school guidance counselor sitting there disagreeing with me because feelings hurt somebody, you can pound sand because you're also not cut out for the military. Hazing, aggressiveness, now they call it bullying, is in fact a part of accountable society. 30 years ago, if a kid thought he was a kitty cat and wanted to poop in a litter box and meow in the corner of the classroom, in the military, he would be bullied for being a weirdo, and they would stop doing that. But we're not doing that. And now that it's apparently been embraced, at least for the last 4 years, this is how we got weak. We had social justice wars with pride flags and trannies in drag marching up and down an aircraft carrier. No. Intense ridicule is part of accountability, and it works. When I was in the teams, if you muzzle swept a teammate in the kill house, you were doing a tire drag for a mile. We're talking a 50-pound tire. And not once did I think, oh, this is mean, just because it, took me 60 minutes to go a mile with a 50-pound tire with a 200 heart rate. You know what it did do? It made me never muzzle sweep a teammate ever again because it hurts so bad. We're bringing that back. And we're bringing back sanity.
The 1990 test and the E6 test. The 1990s test is simple. What were the military standards in 1990? In the E6 test, ask yourself, does what you're doing make the leadership, accountability, and lethality efforts of an E6, or frankly an O3, does it make it easier or more complicated?
Yes. I said this again in my book. Does what you're doing as a general or admiral or commander make it easier or harder for me? Look, I was an E6. Does it make it easier or harder for me to kill bad guys? Does it make it easier or harder for me to drive that tank, attach a missile to a plane? Does it ensure a mechanic's ability to maintain an aircraft better? That's the only function leadership should have, to enable and facilitate the war machine. New standard. Does this stupid PowerPoint about resetting my email password with a 14-digit non-consecutive character help my mission? No, scrap it, it's gone. This is the new standard for the Department of War. You will be fit. You will not waste time on stupid stuff. You will be rough and tough and stop whining about things that don't matter. This mission is to kill bad guys. That's all. And if you're not on board with that, again, there's the door.
But if the words I'm speaking today are making your heart sink, then you should do the honorable thing and resign. We would thank you for your service.
Or you'll be fired. For too long, we've let the dogs of war be ruled by fools, bureaucrats, and diplomats. And it's lost us wars. It's sent good men and women home in more boxes than necessary. Pete just set the standard for every admiral and every general. If you're staring down the barrel of the enemy's gun, would you be thankful for, insert the policy you're thinking up right here, and if the answer is no, scrap it. Lieutenant Colonel William Swenson, Medal of Honor recipient. Sir, what do you make of today's speech?
You know, it's interesting hearing our Department of War discussing an actual return to what we're supposed to be doing as a country and as a department, war. We are warfighters, and for too long, over the last 20 plus years, we heard too often that we had a right to self-defense. At what time did we ever receive training that said we self-defensed our way to victory? We never did. We have returned now to a new paradigm where we're going to hold leaders accountable. We're going to ensure that our fighting forces are led appropriately and that those who we fight alongside are ready for the battle.
I mean, that seems like a noble concept, but how, I mean, sir, obviously you were in the officer corps. How does someone going from a position where, like yourself, fought a war, traded lead for the country, to an admiral or a general who starts making decisions based on his career rather than his personal opinions and, you know, what was best for his men and women?
You know, it's a complicated thing to say, but our flag officer corps, I think for too long, we creeped away from the meritocracy and we became more of a survivorship. The lack of ability to risk, the lack of ability to be on the battlefield and try something new that would actually achieve victory, we started to creep away from that after World War II. We've seen that continually, time and time again, where in the last, again, 20 years, how many of our battlefield commanders in the Flag Officer Corps were relieved for cause? How many of them were relieved for cause because they were not winning the war?
Yeah, well, actually, it's approximately, give or take, 0. I mean, Lloyd Austin screwed up the Iraq withdrawal, then got Secretary of Defense and screwed up the Afghanistan withdrawal. Something also that Pete Hegseth addressed today is how people in the military carry themselves. And this is something, you've transitioned out of the military. It was one of the hardest things I ever did. But he said something interesting that I thought carried a lot of weight. He said, we don't always belong in a polite society. Roll it.
You kill people and break things for a living. You are not politically correct and don't necessarily belong always in polite society. We are not an army of one. We are a joint force of millions of selfless Americans.
I mean, sir, you could probably relate to this, being at a party with a couple buddies, having a beer, and you tell an off-color joke. I know I've done it, and only veterans laugh at it, and all the civilians like, oh my gosh.
You know, we need to be curating warriors, not bureaucrats, not functionaries. This is a war-fighting industry. Warriors have off-color humor. Warriors don't necessarily transition seamlessly back into the civilian space. They may never, because they are warriors. They are a tool that was used by our government to achieve outcomes that very few people can achieve. We create that class, that warrior class. And when we transition back into civil society, obviously we do need to understand how to operate in a new paradigm. But we're warriors. We came from that background.
No, I mean, that's probably the strongest point of all of this stuff is, you know, the civilian sector. And this is what's something that got me too, which is the view. I mean, look, these women obviously have never been to war. They never will go to war, but yet they're so critical of somebody having a message for war. And I just want to take a listen to this real quick. Roll this.
Why is he obsessed with fat?
Yeah, and fitness.
He name-checked 3 generals, 2 that I served with.
And fat shaming.
He said he was going to return to the highest male standard for combat positions because the troops were fat. I don't understand how that was supposed to be an uplifting message for our military.
Yeah, so to her, I would say, why don't you go fight the war then? The highest male standard, the problem is, you know this, sir, which is the fitness standards are, if you're a male of these age groups, you get progressively less push-ups and more runtime. Same thing for the female. And the standard for the battlefield could range between 6 pull-ups or 6 push-ups and 60 push-ups, depending on what gender or age you are. And to the women of the view, none of that matters when the bullets start flying.
What I find surprising about that is their lack of understanding of what the battlefield looks like and what we expect of our warriors. We would not say the same thing about players in the NFL or in the MLB or any professional sport. We look at our athletes to be what they are. They're athletes. Our soldiers are athletes. Our sailors, our airmen, our Marines. They're all athletes. Now, everyone in the military serves in different positions. We all have different places that we serve. And quite frankly, a military moves on its stomach. Our logisticians are one of the most important things that we have as a military fighting force. Our ability to project power around the world could not happen without our logisticians, our intelligence assets, all the enablers. But at the end of the day, the people at the very tip of that spear, they need to be our athletes that go and close with and destroy against the enemy. That requires a different standard, and that standard needs to be the best standard that we have.
Yeah. Well, you know, what would you give if you had any advice if you're standing in front of some of those generals that were rolling their eyes today, which we know there were in that room? Not many, but some. What would you tell them?
At some point, our general officer corps, our flag officers, they need to remember that though they do actually operate in a political sphere, they are themselves not politicians. Their ultimate responsibility is to take policymakers, what they ask of our service members, and that they best apply it to how to do their craft. Their craft is still warfighting at the end of the day. All because they bleed between the political and that strategic level doesn't mean that they are politicians. Remember who you are. Remember that we look up and we look for that aspirational guidance that we're trying to see from their leadership and from their example. And part of that example is, yes, how they appear.
Yeah, well, Colonel Will Swenson, couldn't have said it better myself, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, coming up. So now Turning Point is apparently an extremist group, while Antifa is not. The ADL is way off base here. More details on that. But first, could there be mass federal layoffs in like the next 24 hours? Oh, baby, please, that and more next.
Are you putting your health at risk? Discover the #1 food that causes fatty liver. It's no surprise 100 million Americans are suffering from this disease. You must protect your body's most precious asset. Best-selling author and surgeon Dr. Russell Blaylock has developed natural solutions. His breakthrough new book, The Liver Cure, will help you boost energy, detoxify your body, clear brain fog, reignite your metabolism, improve your health and quality of life. Get The Liver Cure today, free with our special offer. Go online or call the number on your screen.
A return to greatness with you at Trump Tower. Patriot Gold Group is the only gold company with this access.
It's about relationships and loyalty, conservative values and commitment.
Patriots protecting patriots since 2016. Over $1 billion in transactions and home of the No Fee for Life IRA.
Hey, I'm not just a spokesman, I'm a client since the very beginning.
Give Patriot Gold Group a call at 1-800-778-4156.
Patriot Gold Group is Consumer Affairs' top-rated gold and silver dealer nationwide. The only firm nationwide where you, the client, work directly with an owner. Home of the No Fee for Life IRA. See how easy it is to protect your IRA with physical gold and silver.
Call now, 1-800-778-4156.
Well, we got about 6 hours, so Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton is saying that Chuck Schumer wants to shut down the government because he's afraid of the girl in New York. That's a quote, that girl being AOC. So let me just, the entirety of funding the United States government rests on the Senate Majority Leader's fear of AOC. Look, she is the face of the Democrat Party at this point. He thinks that Schumer is afraid that she's going to primary him in 2028 if he doesn't do the far left's bidding and shut this thing down. Be careful what you wish for, because Trump confirmed there could be super big mass layoffs at the federal workforce if this thing gets shut down.
Well, we may do a lot, and that's only because of the Democrats. And as you know, they want to be able to take care of people that have come into our country illegally, and no system can handle that.
James, the left has said that Trump is being unreasonable by not wanting to give $1.5 trillion in benefits to illegals.
Yeah, very unreasonable position, right? But it's amazing how the president sets up these games. Heads, he wins. Tails, the Democrats lose. Mm-hmm. If we get a government shutdown, what Dr. Trump is going to end up ordering up is a emergency dose of Doge for the economy. Yeah. Let's lay off tens of thousands of people, bureaucrats that are trying to control your life and my life and everyone watching at home. So be it. Shut the government down, lay them off, purge the government of these deep state bureaucrats, and we'll wake up in a month with a far more leaner, efficient system.
Yeah. Obviously, CNBC is even calling out Hakeem Jeffries. He didn't have a sombrero on in this video, but roll this.
All these things that you want to do, there's no way any of them are going to be negotiated by the time this happens. And if you shut down the government, you last time, Democrats point out, you lose FEMA, you lose troop pay, you lose all these different things that are so important to Democrats when they're on the other side of this. if you're not going to get all these other things settled, you need to do the CR to get the government funded and then return to this and do it in the normal course of business.
Yeah, I mean, it seems rational, and I don't even agree with that guy on anything.
That's right. It's a rational position that, no, you should not try to hold the government hostage to get health care for illegals at the last minute. $1.5 trillion, Carl, is what they're asking for. Mind you, the federal government budget is 54% higher today than it was right before COVID in 2019.
Yeah.
So the viewers at home, ask yourself, is your life 54% better? The government services, the government response, is it 54% better than it was before COVID? The answer is obviously no. We got too many bureaucrats, too much spending, Doge the entire system.
Yeah.
Let's do round 2 of Doge, a turbo Doge speed run over the next month by virtue of this government shutdown.
I mean, a 50, that's actually a shocking statistic, because like if someone agrees that they are 54% better off, they've clearly not been at the DMV. But you are largely, it is rumored that you are being considered for a potential Fed chair position. Now, you tweeted out also that the U.S. Supreme Court has accepted the filing of your 14-page amicus brief in support of President Trump being able to fire Lisa Cook to free up a seat.
That's exactly right. The question before the Supreme Court today is whether the duly elected president of the United States has the right to remove a credibly accused mortgage fraudster from the Federal Reserve. Clearly, Lisa Cook had no problem committing mortgage fraud to get lower rates for herself, but she has a problem lowering rates for hardworking Americans all across this country, including in my home state of Florida, who are struggling under the weight of a housing affordability crisis. My message to Chief Justice Roberts was very simple. Either we have Article 2 of the Constitution or we don't. Either the president is the chief executive or he isn't. If you or I could fire a fried cook if we ran a restaurant, the president should be able to fire a Fed governor who cannot do her job. How can she walk into Wells Fargo and accuse them of fraudsterness, but she herself can't be held accountable by the president of the United States for her own deceitful, miscreant behavior? It's unacceptable. It's un-American.
Just for my pure entertainment, I do hope that you get a seat on the Fed, because this would be daily fun for me. Also, this is something you tweeted out, caught my eye, and you're talking policy here. Okay. Suggesting, and I really like it, cut property taxes to 0 on any home less than $500,000. Pay for it by doubling property taxes on all homes owned by Blackstone and its private equity peers. And if Blackstone threatens to exit the housing market and start selling their homes to young families, gasp. I guess we'd have to live with that.
We'd have to live with it. I walked by the Blackstone offices on the way here, and I thought to myself, how many of the executives, heck, how many of the even mid-level associates there own versus rent? They want to turn us into a nation of renters, a nation of slaves. My grandmother passed in September of last year, and it was a private equity firm who very quickly bought up her home that was owned by our family for 50 years and turned it into a rental property. No, in America, the single family home is the essence of the American dream. The number one asset for families, multi-generationally, is their home. You cannot have private equity giants like Blackstone using money from overseas investors in communist China, of all places, using a better, lower tax treatment called the carried interest loophole, which is effectively cheating and rigging the tax system for hedge funds and private equity firms, buying up our homes, forcing us into renting. That's un-American. It's unacceptable. Homes are not to be traded amongst hedge funds. They're for families.
And Trump's plan to give up capital gains tax on homes when you sell them, I think between your policy and his, it'd be epic. James.
Great to see you, Carl.
Pleasure coming in.
Likewise.
All right, coming up, the ADL thinks that open forum conversations on college campus are apparently more dangerous than Antifa. Okay, guys, we got that and more in our Culture Clash.
It's our America. We built it. Courage, freedom. Millions go to Newsmax when they need to know. Start today on the free Newsmax app. Newsmax is real news for real people.
How does the world's most trusted dog expert keep his own dog so healthy?
Hi, I am Cesar Milan. In my 20 years rehabilitating dogs, I've seen too many struggle with health problems that no amount of training could fix. Then I discovered it wasn't the dog, it was their food. Fortunately, I found veterinarian Dr. Marty's anti-kibble breakthrough.
Nature's Blend is packed with whole foods that are freeze-dried, locking in nutrients.
I saw remarkable improvements in my dogs within weeks.
Try Dr. Marty risk-free for 90 days. Plus, get a free gift when you call or visit drmartypets.com/Caesar. together.
Derriere, caboose, booty, badunkadunk. No matter what you call it, if you have hemorrhoids, your tushy is no laughing matter. So don't use a cream that treats your rear end like a joke. Get serious relief with Recticare Advanced Hemorrhoidal Cream. Recticare Advanced is seriously effective with 2 powerful medicines for rapid dual-action relief, soothing the uncomfortable swelling, itching, and pain of your hemorrhoids. For serious hemorrhoid relief for your buns, get Recticare Advanced.
Wounded Warrior Project empowers post-9/11 veterans and their families with life-changing programs and services.
I faced my PTSD, and I'm a better husband and father because of it.
We help warriors get the expert care and support to thrive.
I got involved. I got healthier. I got to be an athlete again.
Through our programs, community, and advocacy, we're proving
anything is possible.
Learn more at woundedwarriorproject.org/connect.
Hi folks, I'd like to tell you about YRefi. Did you know that as an accredited investor, when you invest in YRefi, your interest rate is fixed? You can invest from 1 to 5 years, and you can spread your investment over those terms that best suit your needs. You also have the freedom to take your monthly interest income or reinvest it, whatever you choose. When you invest in YRefi, your interest is calculated daily, and you're paid monthly, and should you need your money back early, there is a liquidity feature. Would you like some more information? Just call 877-80-INVEST. That's 877-80-INVEST. Or log on to investYRefi.com. That's investYRefi.com. For complete details, make sure to review the private placement memorandum and scan this QR code to view the disclosures at your leisure. YRefi, investing in America's future.
Get essential satellite internet when you switch to Viasat. New plan, new deal. Unleash savings with plans as low as $49.99. Visit Viasat.com/savebig or call 833-3-VIASAT to sign up today.
Hi, TV Genie.
What do you want?
I wish I could find my shows easier.
I wish my primetime TV was automatically recorded.
I wish I could record more.
Well, I can't do any of those things. So here, I swapped your outfits.
Switch to Dish. Get voice control, automatic primetime recording, and more recording power.
You're welcome.
Switching from DirecTV satellite to Dish can save you over $300 in your first year.
We should get Dish.
Well, the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, ironically named, is a complete joke. They have a section on their website called Glossary of Extremism and Hate, where you can look up hateful terms and key concepts. So if you look up, I don't know, Antifa, try that. It says a decentralized leaderless movement composed of loose collections of groups, networks, and individuals who are vigorously opposed to fascism and focused on counter right-wing extremists, both online and on the ground. And here's the best part. While some Antifa adherents have engaged in violence or vandalism at rallies and events, this is not the norm, despite disinformation campaigns that suggest... Not the norm! They seem to have violence and chaos every time they get together. But when you look up Turning Point USA, this was edited prior to this show, but what I'm about to show you is on the internet forever. It said, Turning Point USA was connected to many controversial incidents, including TPUSA spokesmen appearing alongside extremists at events or at their shows, TPUSA activists making racist or bigoted social media posts, texts, or statements in connections between TPUSA members or activists and known extremists or extreme... okay. Here's how the way we deal with them from now on. Like, for so long, Republicans, we've just been like on the defense, fighting back. Oh, no, I'm not racist. No, I'm not sexist. No. Look, you are never going to be in the clear by their standards. You're always going to be called that no matter what. The left is just going to do what they do. So go ahead. Fine. I don't even care anymore. Benj Irby, political commentator and Smythe, writer for KSmytheHill.com. Benj, call me whatever you want. I don't care.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, Charlie Kirk, was, God rest his soul, was killed 3 weeks ago today for expressing his opinion. And he's somehow the bad person. He's somehow the anti-Semite when this man obviously supported Israel with everything that he had. So I just find it to be very crazy that these are the people that say these things. And I don't even know why we're even giving the ADL or the SPLC or any of these people any type of clearance to say what is and what's not. Why are we even listening to these people? These people don't matter. They're ridiculous people on the internet. Let's let the people, let's let the public decide what is good and what is not. And the type of togetherness and the goodness I've seen since the death of Charlie tells you what Charlie's actual mission was and what his legacy will be, not what these idiots have to say on the internet.
You could look at the social media followings of the two organizations, TPUSA, ADL. TPUSA got them by a lot.
Pretty much.
All right, Kay, after meeting with Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer last night, talk about the government shutdown, Trump posted probably the greatest AI meme ever. It is just him trolling him with...
We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore.
Guys, did you hear that? Are we allowed to play that? Did we just have to dump the segment? Because, I don't know.
It was edited. But like,
okay, it was edited good because it wasn't edited on my end. I highly encourage everyone to go and watch the full real video that Trump posted. Guys, I'm just seeing the history books, right? By my grandchildren's probably generation, they're gonna say that President Donald Trump was not just one of the best presidents we've ever had for both terms, but he was probably one of the funniest and definitely the coolest president we've ever had. We live in a meme generation. And, isn't that the whole point of this segment, right? Is to try and, we're going to talk about some tough stuff. We tackle a lot of difficult things, but we also just want to make people laugh. We're trying to have a little bit of fun with this. And I'm just so glad that this is where we're at. I am so here for it. I am so glad I live in this country, and I'm so glad I follow him on social media.
Benj, Hakeem Jeffries, without his sombrero on, turns around and says this to Trump. Roll this.
And Mr. President, the next time you have something to say about me, don't cop out through a racist and fake AI video. When I'm back in the Oval Office, say it to my face. Say it to my face.
Tough guy. What are you going to do? You got to fight the president, Hakeem Jeffries? I mean, cool story, bro. Again, Benj, we don't care.
I don't know who's more pathetic, whether it's Hakeem Jeffries or Cory Booker, Timu Obama or Great Value Obama. Nobody cares. None of you are effective. It's and with Hakeem Jeffries, it's you need to say it in Nancy Pelosi's face because, again, you're the speaker in name only or the minority, whatever, in name only. Nancy Pelosi still runs the show. She's still the one that's making decisions. She's still the one the networks call for stuff. What are you even here for, Hakeem Jeffries? What are you here for? And then Maxine Waters sitting there you people are out of power and ridiculous. Nobody cares about you. You are irrelevant. You're not going to fight the president. You can't fight anybody. You don't even fight for the American people. You surely don't fight for black people. You love immigrants and illegals. You're about to shut down the whole government for them. So how about say it in the face of the black people, Brooklyn, Hakeem Jeffries, that you do not represent? Say it to our face. Say it to black folks' face, please. It's so ridiculous.
Was Timu Obama for Hakeem Jeffries.
Or Great Value, whichever.
All right, Joy Reid went after MAGA again, Kay, during a BET interview. I didn't even know it was still on TV, but it's saying that we want to go back to the 20th century, and by that standard, I was like, hey, roll this.
And one of the reasons they're so serious about it is that if you go back before the 20th century, there were no income taxes, there were no regulations on business. You could earn as much money as you want, leave 100% of it to your children with no taxes. Right. That's the world they want back. And to get it back, they need society to change. They need people to be less modern. They need people to want fewer things. They need people to be satisfied just being workers. And they don't really believe that any of us have natural rights. Yeah. They believe only the super rich, only the billionaires have real, true rights, and everyone else are just workers. Wow.
Sign me the F up. That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
First part, the first part, absolutely. Yeah. And then she lost me. Because, the first part, I was like, oh, yeah,
no taxes? Great.
Pre-Federal Reserve, the Titanic conspiracy theory. Everyone should look into that one. That's a fun one. I'm here for it. I absolutely love it. I live out here on my farm. I'll live off my eggs. I don't care. I think consumerism is a nightmare. I'm a conservative hippie Christian. Who cares? Yeah. Second half of what she had to say, it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Why start with that, really cool pitch that sounded great and then dribble off into blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, that's right, because Joy Reid is another clown show. She is just another clown show mouthpiece who got her show canceled because she was so boring and insane. No one wanted to watch it.
Yep.
She doesn't make any sense ever. And the one time she does make sense, it kind of sounds like she's on our side of the spectrum, guys. I don't know. Am I off base here?
Nope.
Am I as crazy and stupid as Joy Reid?
No, definitely not.
You couldn't be.
Benj, we gotta leave it right there. You guys are always something. All right. Coming up, former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted by a grand jury. We're gonna see more indictments, maybe? Well, check it out. Hey, I'm Carl Higbie from Newsmax. Look, I'm unapologetically pro-American, and honestly, this is the one place that lets me call it how it is. I'm not holding back. I'll give it to you straight every single night.
At Interactive Brokers, independent RIAs work with the best research and trading tools designed to help them outperform the markets. Meet them at Interactive Brokers Investors Marketplace for advisors. Advisors at Interactive Brokers keep all they earn on our low-cost platform, with no ticket fees or custody charges, low margin rates, and high interest earned on idle cash. To get better results, get a better platform. The best informed investors choose Interactive Brokers.
My employees and I want to thank all of you at Newsmax for your continued support of MyPillow. It's because of you and the grace of God that we're making it through. And to thank you, we're bringing you the best offers ever. Get our MyPillow bed sheets, only $29.88. Any color, any style, any size, even kings, regularly $119.98, now only $29.88. Our My Towels are finally back in stock. Get a 6-piece My Towel set, regular $69.98, now only $39.98. Towels that actually work. What a concept. And for the first time and the only time ever, you're going to get our limited edition premium My Pillows. They're made with Giza cotton and a designer gusset. Queen $17.98, Kings only $19.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code when you order today. Inventory for these offers are extremely limited, and once they're gone, they're gone.
AI chatbots are being sold as friends, even romantic partners for our kids.
Character AI, a website that hosts AI companions, gets 20,000 queries a second.
Unregulated, untested, and already causing real harm. Our children are not test subjects. No more emotional manipulation. No more secret experiments on kids. We need safeguards. Stand with parents. Sign the petition to protect our kids before it's too late.
President Trump said, for America to be a great nation, we must always be one nation under God. Show your kids why America's faith matters with the free Kids Guide to Our One Nation Under God. Get it at freegodgift.com. That's freegodgift.com.
A person can be like a cup, which looks good on the outside, but the inside is full of muck. Jesus Christ came to take the muck out of you. Let me send you this free book, The Everlasting Gospel of Christ. You can request it online at sealchurch.org or at the address on your screen. This is absolutely free. We simply want you to know Jesus Christ.
This is keratin debris, where nail fungus grows. Nonix Nail Gel cleans out fungus by removing keratin debris. Using Nonix, 90% of nails improve. Get clinically proven results. So effective, it's money-back guaranteed.
Good news, the market's swinging back to buyers, which means that dream home won't be there forever. Don't let someone else beat you to it. Start your search today. Make it real with Realtor.com.
As you know, last week, former FBI Director James Comey, not my friend, was finally indicted by a grand jury, making him the first, since the left is all about the first, he's the first FBI director in its 117-year history to be indicted. But what I want to know is why agents haven't stormed his house and dragged him out by his underwear at 3 a.m. like they did to Roger Stone, that was also, by the way, tipped off to CNN before they did it. They both were charged with the exact same crimes. James Comey has not voluntarily surrendered for his arrest and has until October 9th to do so. President Donald Trump's impeachment attorney, Bruce Castor, sir, one of the craziest things here is Trump's impeachment was all based on whether or not he incited all this, this January 6th garbage. James Comey covered up for what we're now seeing is potential, or not, but it was Christopher Wray, but the FBI and James Comey's history through Hillary Clinton and all that stuff. These guys are all hiding the same type of thing that the Democrats tried to impeach Donald Trump for.
Absolutely right. I mean, the latest information that I saw today about the pipe bombs and that were set outside the Democratic and the Republican National Committee, those in the timeline most favorable to the Democrats were set still well before the president's speech.
Yes.
That means somebody had already decided to engage in violence before the president spoke. So how could he be the one that incited the violence when it had already been pre-planned and pre-programmed?
Well, we also know for a fact that those pipe bombs, they had 60-minute timers on them, and they were set more than 24 hours in advance.
Well, you believe, because one of the eyewitnesses said it wasn't there when she went to go take her laundry, and on her way back it was there. So in a 20-minute period it showed up. So it really hadn't been there 16 hours. So the FBI said it was 16 hours, and this lady said it had been there for half an hour or 40 minutes. I think maybe in one account 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And you know how much of the timers are working, and we don't know any of that stuff. And yet, how come nobody goes and investigates these pipe bombs and talks to the witnesses until days, weeks, months later? In fact, the woman who found the bomb at the Republican National Committee and reported it to security there had to contact the FBI and say, hey, I'm the one who found the bomb. Somebody should come interview me. It's unbelievable.
This is all so stupid. And I think we could, and hopefully do see more indictments coming down. You've got James Clapper, Adam Schiff, Letitia James, John Brennan, Merrick Garland. You've got a ton of people that, have, let's just say, not exactly been faithful public servants with integrity.
Well, just like everybody else, use Adam Schiff as the poster child here. I watch television, and every night I heard him saying the Russia collusion and all this stuff about the president was involved with Russia to try to throw the election. It not only turned out to be false, but it was demonstrably false and damaging to the nation, because it gets people thinking, well, maybe there's something to this. I mean, the guy's a United States congressman, head of the Intelligence Committee. Now he's a U.S. Senator. People think maybe he has some credibility. Well, I think that needs to be exposed, that he doesn't have any credibility.
No, 100%. Also, and this is the other thing, is Michael Cohen, of all guys, like not Trump-friendly anymore. He made some pretty crazy statements, or, I should say, pretty rational statements about the indicted former FBI Director James Comey. Roll it.
I believe likely he will be found guilty.
Oh, well, that's interesting, because
I think he likely committed a crime.
Wait, what? What specifically?
I believe likely he committed a crime. I don't know what that crime is, but there are hundreds of thousands of documents, and government has each and every one of them. All they need to find is that one. I've been through this system. I know better than anybody what a weaponized DOJ looks like and feels like. It is insurmountable.
If he's saying it, let's expect some charges.
I'm not so sure that it was weaponized against him, though. I think he got what he deserved, that guy. But it is hard for me to believe that the Department of Justice would move ahead on Comey if they didn't think that they were going to have a good shot at winning the case. I have sat in the top chair in the county at the state level. You do not make an arrest like that unless you feel pretty confident in your ability to win the case.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are going to be watching it, and I think that there's a lot of people who know what they're doing in the Department of Justice, and I think that they're going to get him.
Yeah, but MSNBC, and I don't have time for the soundbite, but MSNBC is saying basically, oh, he's going to have to pay legal fees, and this could ruin his life just from the allegations. Like, what do you guys think you did to Trump for 10 years?
Well, we're seeing that, Carl, all over the country. I'm defending people all over the country, and I have to charge the going rate, and they're paying huge fees. And the fact of the matter is, many of these people don't deserve to be charged or be investigated at all. This has become the norm. And once President Trump and Attorney General Bondi deal with the traitorous conduct that occurred in the previous administration, things will start to get back to normal. But you just can't allow this to continue. Yeah. I really don't believe you can just sit back and do nothing.
No, before you get enough people with more to lose than gain from a civilized society, and then you've got bad things. Bruce Castor, pleasure, my friend.
Thank you, Carl.
All right, coming up, another shooting, another day for the left to call for gun control, but one Democrat actually said the quiet part out loud, trying to limit our Second Amendment rights. We got 2A Tuesday next.
Hello, everyone. It's President Donald J. Trump, and it's Trump time. Check out this red beauty. It's one of my new watches. Wear it proudly on your wrist, and everyone will know exactly what it's for, who it represents. It's really going to be something special. It's for your favorite president. Get your watch today at gettrumpwatches.com. These make a great gift. It's Trump time.
Erich fought for freedom. He sacrificed his future. My son was 21 years old when he was shot in the head. He's still very young.
Did you protect them guys?
Yeah.
The tragic events of September 11th changed our nation and inspired a generation to serve. Today, many of those veterans urgently need your help.
At Wounded Warrior Project, it is our honor to serve this generation of injured veterans.
I am proud to have served under the flag, but I was not the only one to come back with stage 4 cancer.
After I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, likely because of chemicals from my deployment, my mom was lost, my dad was lost. He couldn't fix it. Wounded Warrior Project found us.
I'm gonna need help for the rest of my life. The Wounded Warrior Project makes me feel great when I see that logo, knowing that somebody's gonna be there for me.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you will provide, at no cost to warriors, programs and services that can change a person's life forever.
We need to support our men and women who go off to fight these wars for us. I'm extremely grateful because there were times where I would pray that he would just get through the night.
Please call or go online with your gift of $19 a month, and we'll send you this limited edition blanket honoring the 250th anniversary of American independence and freedom.
With the new generation coming up, they did not grow up with 9/11. They didn't see it on TV. It means the world to us that you have not forgotten the sacrifice that our family did.
Please give a little to those who gave so much for us.
Call or go online at honorwarriors.org right now.
When you need to prepare for unpredictable adventures, you need WeatherTech. Laser measured floor liners, front and rear. Seat protector to save the seats.
They're all yours. They're here.
Hey, I knew you were coming, so I WeatherTech the car.
Can we get ice cream?
We can now.
Yeah.
Order your premium American-made products at WT.com.
All right, it's 2A Tuesday. Let's do some gun stuff. We talked a lot about these two shootings in my monologue last night in Michigan, North Carolina over the weekend, where I said specifically these veterans should have been evaluated and cared for, and those evaluations should have been passed on to civilian background check services. We shouldn't get rid of the whole Second Amendment because of this, like Democrat Michigan Senate candidate suggested.
To say that enough is enough, we need to have a conversation about gun violence, right? The Second Amendment doesn't mean any gun for anyone, anywhere, anytime. It means that we understand that there was a space for this, but not this, not that people walk into their church on a Sunday and get gunned down. And so we need to have that conversation. We need to have it urgently. I'm hoping to sit down with folks, everyone, including gun owners, to folks who are victims of gun violence, to ask where is the way forward? Because this here ain't it.
Sounds like that guy wants to be in charge of whether or not the Second Amendment is even there. Misfit Patriot Zach Bonifilo and TMP Uncensored host Erich Pratt, Senior Vice President for Gun Owners of America. Erich, why don't the left just come out and say, you know what, we should repeal the Second Amendment, and then they run with that, because that's really what they want.
You're right, it is what they want, and when they get in power, that's exactly what we see them doing. Just look at Washington, D.C. and Chicago, where in the past they instituted total gun bans. And how did that do? Did that make the people any safer? No, it didn't. Neither did it work in Venezuela. Gun bans never work. And, you know, what you actually see working is when people have arms and they're able to protect themselves. That's one reason why GOA is pushing Congress so hard to pass concealed carry reciprocity. 29 states, more than half of our country, has constitutional carry, where people can carry without a permit. And in any given year, the safest 3 states are constitutional carry states. So what does that tell you? Guns save lives, and they keep us safe.
Yeah. Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, lowest murder rate, least gun laws as far as I'm concerned. Zach, Canada, our America's attic, is rolling out their gun buyback program starting as early as next month. Take a listen to what the Minister of Public Safety, which is, I don't even know what this guy does, says about Canada's lawfully abiding citizens. Roll it.
Canadians are law-abiding citizens. Those who have licensed firearms are particularly law-abiding. I believe the vast majority of them will comply. They do not want to be in breach of the law. The important part is that local police of jurisdiction are the ones that need to do that. They have been for decades implementing the criminal code, whether it's firearms that are not permitted right now. They have been the ones that have been implementing it, and my expectation is they'll continue to do that.
Well, my guns aren't for sale, and neither should Canadians.
Yeah, well, I love how I think that he said it wasn't a mandatory buyback. We're just going to impose laws upon anybody that doesn't take part in the mandatory buyback, which is a mandatory buyback. And you know, to the earlier point of back here in America, where the Second Amendment doesn't mean a gun for anybody that wants it. Actually, it does. I have it right in front of me. It's a well-regulated militia being necessary for the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. It's pretty straightforward. Now, that doesn't mean that everyone has a right to a gun if they lose their rights. For instance, if you commit a crime, there are many things that you can do in this country where you lose your rights. And nobody, I don't think, reasonable gun owners and pro-2A advocates would say, oh, no, that doesn't mean you got to give crazy people guns. But as far as, taking the Canada example and trying to compare it to America, it's apples and oranges. But with Canada, they're basically saying we're going to make it illegal and we're going to gaslight our citizens by saying you're law-abiding citizens, so you have to give us your guns back because you're law-abiding citizens.
It's all ridiculous. Eric, real quick, speaking of law-abiding, the DOJ, announcing that they're suing Los Angeles over similar delays with gun permits, like in my case, the GOA backed me up and so I could carry a gun. Between January 24 and 25, Los Angeles received almost 4,000 applications and approved 2.
Yeah, this is fantastic news, what DOJ is doing. GOA has been suing in the courts and winning. We sued New York with you as our plaintiff, Carl, and we won. We sued California and won, and that's where the DOJ is now inserting itself, thankfully. So now GOA members can get non-resident permits in every state in the continental U.S. That means that there is a way right now for GOA members to travel cross-country with a concealed firearm, but it shouldn't just be limited to GOA members and a few other plaintiffs. And again, that's why we're pushing Congress so hard to pass concealed carry reciprocity so everybody can exercise their Second Amendment rights across the country.
I love that. I hope it happens because no other rights end at state lines. Zach, Eric, we appreciate it very much. Appreciate you fighting for freedom.
Thank you.
All right, before we go, perpetual victim Greta Thunberg has to be saved again. Just give up, lady. Next.
You know, everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same. But not us. We're different. We report the real news. No spin, just the facts. Turn to us, and you won't turn back.
Tune in to Rob Schmidt tonight on Newsmax.
Drop is finally here. Drop delivers the weight loss benefits of GLP-1 injections in easy-to-use oral drops. No needles.
That's right. The two big drawbacks with weight loss injections are high costs in weekly injections. Drop is flavorless and odorless, so you can just add it to water or your favorite beverage. Drop offers other advantages over injections too. With Drop, you can personalize your dosage based on your weight loss goals.
And because you add Drop to any liquid, there's no concern about injection site infections, bruising, or dosage confusion.
Drop is the easier, safer, cost-effective alternative to help you achieve your weight loss goals without the needles.
Can't find it anywhere? The Wellness Company has it. No consultation needed. Simply order online and use promo code SLIM to save $100. Visit dropthepounds.com/slim. That's promo code SLIM at dropthepounds.com/slim.
My employees and I want to thank all of you at Newsmax for your continued support of MyPillow. It's because of you and the grace of God that we're making it through. And to thank you, we're bringing you the best offers ever. Get our MyPillow bed sheets, only $29.88. Any color, any style, any size, even kings, regularly $119.98, now only $29.88. Our My Towels are finally back in stock. Get a 6-piece My Towel set, regular $69.98, now only $39.98. Towels that actually work. What a concept. And for the first time and the only time ever, you're going to get our limited edition premium My Pillows. They're made with Giza cotton and a designer gusset. Queen $17.98, Kings only $19.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code when you order today. Inventory for these offers are extremely limited, and once they're gone, they're gone.
I take Balance of Nature, have been for a couple of years. I love it. I'm so happy with it. It is that good.
Get 35% off your first set as a preferred customer by using discount code Newsmax.
Wounded Warrior Project empowers post 9/11 veterans and their families with life-changing programs and services.
I realized I could be successful in a civilian career.
We stand by warriors and advocate for their needs going forward.
They were by my side in the hospital, and they're still with me today.
Through our programs, community, and advocacy, we're proving
anything is possible.
Learn more at woundedwarriorproject.org/connect.
Consumer Cellular is lowering the price for those 50 and up. Get 2 unlimited lines for $30 each. That's just $60 a month. So switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage satisfaction. Visit consumercellular.com today.
3, 2, 1.
I found Tunnel to Towers just through a TV commercial. I was like, oh, I wonder if they help out injured first responders. So when the Towers did reach out, it was awesome.
Men and women like Jay Youngblood, who served their country, are so deserving of their independence and the ability to take care of their children and provide for them. And that's what the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is doing when we give them a house.
Tunnel to Towers shows there's still humanity out there. Please donate $11 a month through t2t.org.
We are monitoring a Senate vote that Rob's going to bring you in a minute because it hasn't happened yet, but chalk another loss up to Greta Dora the Explorer Thunberg over her ever-failing flotilla to Gaza. The perpetually aggrieved high school dropout Thunberg, like she should have picked a better crew or a better ship. I don't know if she wanted to help Palestine or whatever. So since setting out in June, her flotilla has been intercepted, turned around because of bad weather, set ablaze because one of her own crew members shot like a flare gun into the roof. I mean, maybe it's just not meant to be, and it's just getting worse. One of the ships broke down again and began taking on water and had to be rescued by Turkish authorities. I mean, if I was them, I would have just grabbed popcorn and let them swim. But after 4 months, the flotilla currently sits at 200 miles off the Gaza coast. I'm pretty sure it took Columbus like half this much time to find the new world, and she can't even get across like this little tiny corner of the Mediterranean, Rob.
You know, they have all the passion and none of the intellect for this, and they're trying to figure it out. Poor Greta.
I look at this, but this is everything. She was the climate face. She was this flotilla face. She looks for causes to be aggrieved and never succeeds in anything.
Yeah. It's whatever liberal politics du jour is Greta now. That's what she is.
Yeah, I know.
Good to see you, Carl.
Yeah,
Thanks so
good to see
much.
you, Rob.
Appreciate
Take it away.